Today I'm here with Sergeant O'Connor at the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, and we're going to talk all about the women's safety classes. Sergeant O'Connor, thanks so much for being with me today. So tell us why you started these classes.
It's just been something I wanted to do for a while. We kept having situations where people were getting themselves into trouble or getting in trouble and not knowing what to do. I just felt like it was something that we needed to do for the community.
And how long have they been going on?
Probably about 5 years, I think.
Wow. So tell us just the basics of what happens in one of these classes.
So what we're trying to do is teach people how to be aware of their surroundings so that they don't get themselves into a situation that they can't get out of, what to do if they do get themselves in that kind of situation, and how to physically defend themselves if they don't have any other choices.
Have you had a pretty good response from it?
I think so.
Do you know, are there any stories you can think of that people have come back and said, hey, I used this in this situation?
Yeah, actually,
Hopefully not.
I ran into a person not too long ago that was in my class, and then she was in some other class that the sheriff's office was teaching, and I saw her, and we had talked about intuition and, you know, kind of trusting your instincts and that kind of stuff, and she was telling me a story about how she was coming out of a grocery store with her kids full of groceries, that kind of thing, and she just stopped in the door of the grocery store and said, something's not right, we need to go back inside, and 4 or 5 minutes later, or 2 or 3 minutes later, some kind of altercation broke out in the parking lot.
Oh, wow. So you're just making them aware of that.
Sure.
And, wow, that's awesome that she was able to do that. So tell me when the classes are, kind of what it takes to be a part of them.
So we teach 3, sometimes 4 classes a year. They're spread out throughout the year. We usually announce them about a month and a half out. We're getting ready to announce another one here in the next couple of weeks. I just got to get the dates solid. And you can find them on the website. Deputy Summerall with Community Relations usually pushes them out on things like Nextdoor and Facebook and that kind of stuff. They do fill up pretty quick, but we do keep a waiting list because inevitably somebody will cancel.
Yeah, now I noticed there are certain requirements. What are those?
So it's an 18 and older. I teach an adult class with adult-themed things, and it's just a little bit hard for me to, when I tone it down for teenagers, it kind of loses a little bit. So we have been getting some requests for a teenage class. We're looking into doing something like that as well, but it is 18 and up, and they do go through some type of security or just background check to make sure we're not teaching the wrong people these things.
That's great. So with it getting warm, it's March now, and people are going to be going to the park, going for a hike in the woods. Give us some just basic tips.
Just what we talk about is just being aware of your surroundings, and I think one of the biggest things that I see in my class is most of the time when I talk to women about situational awareness, they have a routine of some sort. It will be, well, I always keep my keys in my hand, or I make sure I'm on the phone, or whatever. I park under a street light. So they have that routine, but that's where it stops. They never think about what happens if something, you know, I know there's bad stuff in the world, but they never think about what happens if I actually find bad stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's what we encourage them to do, is to go beyond that, being aware and having a plan for what happens when something bad does happen to them.
Yeah, is there anything you could tell us right now that could be part of their plan?
Well, so typically what we do is encourage them to play the what-if game. Know your surroundings, know where you are, you know, how you're going to get out of this building or how you're going to get away from this situation, and then have a plan for what you're going to do if it happens. So, you know, not just think about, okay, I want to keep an eye out for the bad guy, but how I'm going to talk to the bad guy, how I'm going to address the bad guy, how I'm going to remove myself from the situation when it happens.
Yeah.
And so we talk about things like making eye contact and body language and making sure that what you think in your head is being conveyed through the rest of your body, so the bad guy understands that you're not the weak one he's looking for.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing that. And so you're also going to show us a few moves that you actually teach in the class.
Right, so we're going to just kind of show you some body language stuff, not necessarily defensive tactics moves. We do those, but we're not going to do those on camera. We're just going to talk about, you know, just some kind of awareness and how to make your body mirror what your brain is saying.
Okay.
So what we teach is for our body language and the confidence in our voice to match the words that are coming out of our mouth, so that when we say, no, leave me alone, or go away, that every part of us matches that. Let me show you an example. That's far enough, sir. You need to stay right there. Can I help you? So we want our body position to be kind of squared up on our bad guy. This is a much more defensible position than something like this, where if he were to approach me, I would not be able to get away and get my feet tangled. This is a much more defensible position. This is actually a little too close, but it'll work for now. We want to have a little bit of distance. We can use our hands to say stop. This is the universal sign for stop. We want our voice to have a very strong command to it to portray to him that we mean what we're saying. And then that way, if we needed to exit, we could exit this way, we could exit to the left or the right and get ourselves out of this situation. So this is just one of the things that we teach in our class. It's an 8-hour class. We teach it 3 to 4 times a year. Check it out on the Sheriff's Office webpage or our other social media platforms. Come out and join us.
We would like to thank Sergeant O'Connor and the Shelby County Sheriff's Department for all they do for our communities and Shelby County, and for this great class. It's such a benefit to the women in Shelby County. So thank you so much for doing that. And guys, go online, check it out, and sign up.